Hello everybody, my name is Colin Frisky. I'm here with another tutorial. This time I'm going to be making a combat system for a fighting game. Basically just the combos and just the basic attacks. Now, being just a programmer, I don't really have a 3D model that I can animate. And I'm too lazy to make one because I think the people who are watching this, this will be mostly just the code. So if you're having issues programming it, but you have all the other stuff, then this is for you. Or if you're just interested. So what I did is I just created an empty game object. And so I just animated a couple of attacks. Which one is just this is the heavy attack. It's slower and it's bigger. So it's just like a punch. And then I have a light attack, which is just a fast little jab. Then I have a kick. It's about as slow. It's a little faster than the heavy. It's pretty much a medium ground here. And then I have some combo moves. So like if you press a certain amount of buttons, then we have this tornado. And we have a fireball. So if we put in a certain number of, like if we do one heavy, one light, and one kick, then we will send out a tornado. Or if we do 3 heavies, we'll send out a fireball. So to start, we will create the C sharps, and this is just going to be fighting combos. Or fighting combo. You can name it whatever. It's just since I have it in the same project as my other tutorials, so I gotta keep my names pretty separate from each of them, otherwise I'll run into some issues. So just like the typing manager from the last tutorial, we will be using or importing some namespaces, specifically the events namespace in this one. And to start it off, we need to basically create the key codes that the inputs of the player. So since we will have 3 different types of attacks, we need 3 different inputs. So we'll start with public key code. We'll have a heavy key. We'll have a light and a kick key. Light key, kick key. Now, these are what the player will press to do these attacks. Next, we will have to create the attacks. And to do that, we're going to create our own serializable class called attack. Now, this will hold information about the attack that we will be using later, like a string for the animation name and a float for the animation length. There. We'll just change it to name so it looks pretty in the inspector. So attack will give it a name for the animation to play, and then the length of time that the animation plays for. And now that we did this, we can set up the attacks. So we'll do a public attack, we'll just do a heavy attack, and then we'll do a light and kick attack as well. Alright. Now we want combos as well, so we're not just using the 3 basic attacks, we also want to do some special combos. To do that, we're going to need to create some more classes. One called a combo, and then one called a combo input. The combo input will just be just hold the information of what we should press to initiate that combo attack. So all we really need for this is if we should do a heavy, light, or kick. So we're gonna create a numerator and name it just attack type. And in here, we'll hold the 3 different attack types. And kick. And now we will come down to the combo input, and we will, wrong key press. I'm trying to go fast here, and it's messing with me. So we just do the type. Now, this will also, like, if you want a specific movement input as well, you would put this in the combo input. So, like, if I want a heavy attack, but I have to be moving backwards or moving forwards or just holding that stick, that's what I'd put in here for more precise combos. Is that how you spell precise? Probably not. Oh well. So now we have that set up. We can set up the combo, and the combo will be a list of inputs, combo inputs, that we will cycle through. So we're gonna need the current input, and we'll set that to 0 for now. We'll also need a attack for the combo attack. So what we will do once we get through all the inputs, and we'll put a Unity event in here that's on combo. All right, or let's name it on inputted. So now once we input, we will call this Unity event. Now we should probably, well, actually, no, okay, we're good, yeah. All right, so now we have to set up some functions that we'll be using in here. Just like the typing manager that we made in the last tutorial, we're gonna need to figure out whether we should continue or not. When it's actually funny, when I was thinking about how to do this, basically what it is it's almost exactly like the typing manager, but instead of a string of characters that you'll be going through, it'll just be like a list of inputs that you should be going through. So we'll grab a combat input that we have to test, and if this combat input type is equal to inputs at current input, so if the types are the same, and now you would add like I dot movement is equal to inputs dot current input dot movement if you add movement later on. So you just want to test it out right here. The reason why you can't just do I equals inputs is because they'll be, when we come up here, we'll be creating a new combo input. But this list of inputs are their own separate thing. So we can't just say they're the same. We have to check their variables inside. If you add a lot of variables within combo input, I would recommend just like a function here that basically checks all that. So we'll do like a public bool is same as, and then get a combo input in here. You know what? Actually, we'll just do this. We'll just make it for this. So combat input, we'll do it test return type equals test dot type. And now we would also we'll just add it in here. If movement is equals to test movement. So now instead of writing it all out in this if statement, we can just call inputs at current input. So our current input in the combo, if it is the same as our other as the one we're testing, so the one coming through the parameter. So if you add more variables, make sure you put them into the is same as, so combos are correctly executed. So if it's the same, then we want to just increase current input. and that means if we input it past the inputs.count, that means that we have finished the inputs and we should do the attack. There we go. And so if this is true, then we're just going to onInputted.invoke. So we're just invoke that and set current input back to 0 so we can restart the combo. And if we are able to input or increase the input, then we just want to return true. So next after this, so if it's not the same, so if the combo input is not the next one in the sequence, then we just say that it is not the next one. We want to restart this combo so it can be executed at the right time. So as you can see, this is very similar to the continue text from the typing manager that we did early on. But we also have to make a couple more. So later on, we might have to grab the current input of this combo at its current input index. So we just want to do it. We're just going to get a combat input function. We're just going to call it current combo input. And we're just going to say if current input is greater than or equal to inputs count, then we want to return null. And otherwise, we're going to return input at current input. Oop, that needs to go lowercase. Inputs, isn't it? Yeah, I'm sorry. And I'm silly. Sorry. Square brackets when referencing things. All right. And we should probably make a default constructor for this quick. So we're just going to do a new, and we're going to do an attack type called T. Nope, T. And then type equals T. Nice and easy. All right. That seems good. And just in case we need to use this later, or we need to reset it later, I'll just do this. All right. So now I think that's it. I think that's all set up. Let me zoom in quick just to make it easier on you guys to see. Yeah, right there is good. All right, so time to actually get started on the reading of the inputs. So now that we set this up, I guess we can finish off these. So we're gonna want a list of combos we can do. So this we will fill with the fire and the tornado. We're just gonna name it nice and easy combos, and then we're going to basically make a leeway time. So how much time you have to press a key and then the next key. So it shouldn't be too long and it shouldn't be too fast. So it should be challenging but also doable. Just a disclaimer though, I don't play a lot of fighting games, so I'm not exactly sure how combos and inputs really work with them, but this is how I thought if I were to make one, then this is how I would do it. I'm just gonna keep track of some transforms, right? I'm sorry, not transform components, and we'll start off it with a animator to play the animations. So in start, if we haven't set animate, and you can set that private if you want. I'm actually going to. So I'm just gonna set Annie equal to the component of our player. So we want to get the animator from the player. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to manually, or not really manually, but we're going to need to add stuff onto this Unity event that we can't really add within the inspector. So I'd like to say we need to prime the combos. And what I mean by this is, so once we hit on inputted and once it's invoked, we want to send a call over to this fighting combo script and say to play this attack. So through prime combos, what we're going to want to do is we need to loop through the combos, and once we do that, and we're going to need to grab the combo that we're currently at in the array or the list, and then we're going to go on inputted and we're going to add a listener. And here what we need to do is we need to make it so I can add like that, I do believe. Add listener, yep. And then what this will do is we will call the attack function with the combos attack. So that we need to add it to the onInputted event, because when we come back in here and we look here and we make a combo, you can see we have our combo attack, but if we go on it and we drag it here and we go fighting combo, when we go to the attack, then we wouldn't be able to set the parameter correctly in the inspector. So that's why we have to do it like this. That's why we have to add the listener through code. So we just have to prime all the combos to be called upon correctly. Next we have, let me think how I'm gonna do this. I guess we should just get started and see where it starts to not work or something. So oh, I know. We need a attack that we are currently doing. So if we are attacking, we don't want to do anything else. So we want to keep track of an attack to do, and then if we're not doing anything, we'll then read for another attack. So current attack, if it's not null, so if we called upon an attack and we want an attack to be played, then I need a timer too. So I gotta wait until that attack is done. So if timer is greater than 0, so if the attack is playing, then let's just minus some time. Oop, no, that's delta time. But if we hit the timer, if we go back to 0, that means the attack is done, and so we want current attack to go back to null. So now when we create this attack function, we might as well do that now, and we give an attack, what we want to do is we want to set current attack to this, then we want to set timer equal to the length of the animation, and then what we want to do is we want to play the animation. So we're going to use the animator, we're going to play the attack name, and so if you do the same attack, how I have it set up is it goes back to nothing, or the idle. So if you do the same attack over it, I want it to be able to restart. So I do believe this is how you do it. You do the string and then -1 0. What this will do is even if it's playing, it will restart back at the beginning. I think that's correct. So now when we are talking about the priming, we have to, once onInputted is invoked, we have to attack using this combo attack. So now when we come back here, so Now we have to pretty much figure out what, now we can start actually giving current attack an attack and calling that function. So now let's do an input. So we got to figure out what attack we want to do or what attack we want to check the combos for. We're going to set it to null because we have 3 different types of attacks that we're going to go through. So input.get key down, and we're going to do heavy key. And then what we want to do is we want to set input equal to heavy. I can't really do that just easily, so we'll just create a function where we return a combo input, but I'm going to put it underneath attack. So combat input get from attack type, and we're going to give it an attack type T, and I think we're just going to do if T is equal to attack type heavy, then we return a new combo input with attack type heavy. Or I guess what we could do is we could just easily do this, I guess. And then I don't even need this function. I could just do equals heavy. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna work. So then we do light when we press the light key, heavy when we press the heavy key, and kick when we press the kick key. So now input is set. So if we have no input, then basically we're just gonna return. So don't call any more code. Just end the function right here if we didn't input anything. But if we did input something, I want to keep track of that for reference later. So I'm just going to call it the last input. And then if we do input something, I want last input to equal it right here. So now I guess we have to do the combos. So the issue is some combos start with the same amount or the same inputs. So like a heavy kick or a heavy light kick, or just a heavy. So we need to keep track of all the combos that could be accessed with our key presses. So what we want to do is we want to just get a list of integers of our current combos. We'll just set that to a new list right here. So current combos, basically what we want to do is we're going to loop through them. And so if we have any combos currently, what we want to do is we want to use them and continue a combo. So we want to check these first. So current combos at I, we want the combos given from that. And it's a bit confusing, but since we have a list and then we have our other list, what we're using one list to store integers of the index of the combo that we are currently going through, or a combo that we're currently going through. So if we can continue this combo using input, then that means we're doing the correct thing, so do something. I'll come back to this. Otherwise, if we don't, then we want to remove it. And I don't exactly want to break the function like I did over with the typing manager. So I will show you how to remove something from a list without breaking a for loop. So I'm just going to name another list of integers, just like the current combos. And we're going to make it a remove list. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to add any index that we want to remove into this list. And since it's being recreated, it's a local variable, so right when it's recreated, it's created blank. So we know if we add anything into it in here, then we just want to get rid of it. So we're going to do that. So for each int I in remove, then we're just going to remove it from our current combos. So we're going to remove at I. So I think that is correct. Alright, now what we want to do is, if we have no combos, so if we pressed a button that isn't in any combos or isn't the next one in any of our other sequences, then, so if we have none, then we just want to attack using the input. So if we input a kick and none of them start with kick, we're just going to instantly kick. Or none of the next ones have kick. We're just going to instantly kick. I need to grab from these attacks. So that I do need another function for. So we're just going to do, we're going to get attack from type. And we're going to get an attack type. So if T is equal to heavy, then we want to return heavy attack. And so on and so forth for the other three. And so we want light, and we want kick. And then if none of them, we just return null. So it's not exactly possible to return null, but it likes to return null. Just to get rid of that error. And so if we get an attack from type, we want our input dot type. So now attack using one of these three attacks if the combo count is 0. So now we should probably do something in here, huh? So this is what we'll use the combo leeway. So we'll just do a leeway variable. And so now leeway, we'll just set leeway to 0. So if you're doing the right combos, then we don't want to kick you out of that combo. So we'll just keep setting leeway to 0. Now we kind of have to check whether leeway, or that we have to go through the next one. And so we're going to take this. So if combo count is greater than 0, so if we do have combos going through, then we want leeway to be increasing. So we want to kick them out of a combo and actually do the last attack if they took too much time or if they're not hitting them fast enough. So, but if our leeway is greater than or equal to our combo leeway, so if we took too long, then we want to basically reset everything and do the last attack. So the last attack is why I kept track of last input. So if last input does not equal null, so if we have inputted, then we just want to attack using that get attack from type, last input type. And from here, we want to just set last input back to null. So we have no input since we use that input to attack. Then we want to set leeway back to 0. And then what we need to do is we kind of need to reset the combos that if we fail. So all of them. So you can see we have this reset combo for that very reason. So we need to basically when we fail, we need to loop through these current combos that we have and just basically get rid of them, or not really get rid of them, but reset them back to 0 so we can start back from the beginning. So we're going to need a reset combos function. Oop, that's not what I want. Where I will loop through the combos currently. So current combos. And then what I will do is I will just call the, I'm going to do combo C again because it gets a little confusing if I put it all in one line. So the current combo at this, or the index using current combo for the combos, just like I explained before, it's a bit confusing just because I'm storing indexes of combos that are currently being inputted. So if you're in there, then we just want to reset the combo, and then once we loop through them all and reset them all, then we can just clear this. Since we're not doing any current combos, I have to reset them, and just in case, I'll set leeway back to 0. So now reset combos, I think we'll put it right there, and then we can just get rid of that. Okay, next we need to, if we have no current combos, then just set leeway to 0 every frame, just to make sure that it's not increasing when we don't want it to, or so we're not resetting combos unneeded. Oh, crap, I don't know how I forgot this. We need to return. We need to end this update function right there if current attack does not equal null. So if we're attacking, we don't want to do any of this. So we want to end it right here. Okay, so this is how it works, but I forgot to actually add things to current combo. Current combo will never be added to, so all of this won't ever run. So we need to program the way to read inputs and kind of go through the combos. So I'm going to do it before the remove because I'm going to be checking if it's already in there. So we're going to loop through our combos that we create. I is less than combos. Now this is not the current combos, this is just regular combos, the combos that we make in the inspector, because we need to check if we, whoa, Control A is not what I wanted. Alright, so if current combos, so if current combo contains I, that means this combo is already being checked right here. So we don't want to recheck it because then we're messing up the whole input, because what it'd do is it would check for heavy here because that's the input, and what we're going to do is we're going to check for the input here or right here. So if we check for heavy again, unless the combo asks for heavy, it's going to be wrong, even though, so it's basically double checking the same input, which we don't want, but that's why if it's already being contained in current combos, we want to just continue to the next index. We don't want to continue the array, or the whole, we don't want to continue and check it, because it will mess up most of the combos. So, otherwise, so if it's not being checked already, then we want to check it. So, the combos at this time, I'm going to check it. And so now this will return a bool, whether or not I inputted the correct input. So if it's true, then we want to add this to our current combos. We want to add I, because the current combos holds the index, not the actual combo. And then if we did it correctly, so if we inputted, and we're just going to set leeway back to 0. So we got to just keep setting leeway to 0 so we're not losing time, so we can actually input them at the correct, so we can actually input them and get the correct outcome. No errors right now, so that's good. Okay, so I think this may work. Oh wait, hold on. No, it won't. Because when we need to reset the combos after the combo attack is called. So if we finish any of these combos, we want to reset the rest of them. But doing this may mess up this this update loop. So what we need to do is we need to skip a frame and basically kind of recoup everything. So I'm just gonna make it nice and easy just to skip. So right here, right when we attack, we want to skip. So basically we're just skipping the next frame so we don't input right away and break a combo or not call the correct combo because the input was continued over even after we attack right here. So we are going to need to skip right here. I think this is where. Yeah, I think this is where we're skipping. Right before we add any more current combos, we just need to skip a frame. So set skip back to false and return. So if skip is true, skip is then immediately put to false and return, so it only skips one frame. From what I can tell, this should work. So how to set this up? Basically, I showed you all these animations. So in the animator, I will put this right here. You can see that I have them all, but I don't have any transitions because I don't exactly need them. Everything is put in this idle, which is just this frame that has nothing here because the scale is 0. Any attack should not loop. So you want to make sure that the loop time is unchecked for all of your attacks. Otherwise, once it hits the end, it will kind of do a weird jitter where it'll restart because it's looped, and it loops before the timer runs out most of the time. So like you'll just see like the first couple frames of the animation if you don't. So loop time should be unchecked. Now you can see here that we have this length. This is what I mean in the attack length. You want to keep track of these numbers. So 0.75 for the tornado, 0.5 for the fire, kick is at 0.417, light is 0.333, and heavy is 0.5. So when we do these heavy attacks, the name, as you can see right there, is heavy_ATT, and the length, like I said, is 0.5. And then this one is a light_ATT, and it was 0.333. Kick attack was 417. Yeah. Okay. And then the combos. So like I said, fire and tornado are both going to be combos. So I'll put 2 of them. I guess what we can do is we can add a string of a name for the combo, just to make it look pretty in this inspector, because you can see right here, if I change this, element 0 should change, if I remember. So this is just tornado. Yeah. So you can see this name affects the element name. So the inputs, we're going to do a 3 combo. So it's going to be a heavy, light, kick, and we're going to do a tornado. Basically, why I thought a tornado is like a tornado kick or something. That's why I do a heavy, light kick. So the combo attack, so the actual attack to play is tornado.att, and it's 0.75. So if you want it to do anything special when the combo is called, you would add it here, just like before on the input or the typing manager. But you don't need to add anything because we prime them in here. So you don't need to add anything. It's just extra if you want that. So that's for the tornado. This one will be a fireball. And what did I say the inputs were in the beginning of this? I'll just keep them at heavy, heavy, heavy. So 3 heavies, and you send off a fireball. So fire, not fire tornado, even though that'd be cool. And you guys can add it. And it was 0.5, right? Yep. Okay. So now that those both are in there and all of our attacks are set up, we need to put the keys in for the heavy, and so I like the up arrow. I like the arrow keys for the attacking, and then WSD for moving if you want to add that. So I just have to find it. Oh, okay. Up arrow. That took too long. D, down arrow. And then kick will be right. Right arrow. Okay. So heavy up, light is... I'm going to switch these. Right arrow, and then this will be down. Down arrow. So up for heavy, over right for light, and then kick for, or down for kick. So if I come in here, hit play, if I set everything up correctly, if I hit up, we punch. Over, light punch, so you can just do that. Down is a kick. Okay, so all of these work. So what it does is when you hit the button, what it does is it checks, and it gives this leeway time. So this is what I mean. If it's too long, it's not good. So if I set this to 1 second and then I hit up, it's going to take a second to call it. So I think 0.2 is a good leeway because it gives me 0.2 seconds to hit the next in the combo, and then 0.2 seconds to hit the next one. So if I do up, over, down, it's a tornado. And then up, fire. So, yeah. So up, and then if I do it fast, up, fire. Up, over, down, or if I do it fast, up, over, down, tornado. So that's basically how combos work. It's really similar to the typing manager, and I think it's kind of funny. But so you basically just push through a list of inputs. If it's not correct, then you reset it. Yeah. So that's works surprisingly just as I was hoping. Yeah. Tornado, fire. So if you guys if you want to follow this, I will... I was going to add lightning, but I never did. Sad. If you ever need to add any more, it's super easy. You just add another, and then you put how many inputs, and like you can go more than 3. Like I just did 3 because I thought that was good, but you can do like 5. So like 5 heavies now for a fireball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was not right. Ooh. Oh wait, because it's not. Hold on. Inputs. We'll set it to 5 now. Okay. See if this works. Wait. Oh, okay. I was only hitting 4 or 5. All right. There you go. Yeah. So you can do as many as you want. So like you can do a extremely difficult one if you want. So like a heavy kick, light, heavy, and then finish her off with a kick. And so if I put that in real quick, heavy kick, light, heavy. All right, heavy kick, light, heavy kick. It's so difficult. All right. That's why I kind of I think 3 to 5 is what you should do, or 3 to 4 maybe. But I mean, if you want 5, and that's not what I wanted. Okay. Heavy kick, light, heavy kick. Hey, I did it. So yeah, they can get difficult. If you want it more difficult, lower this combo leeway. If you want it less difficult, I don't recommend increasing this too much, just because then attacks are delayed by whatever this leeway is. All attacks are delayed for, because it's basically checking if you are gonna do a combo or not. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want, this was actually a request from somebody, so that is why I decided to do this. Yeah, I've never really made a fighting game, so I'm sorry if this is not exactly how you wanted it, but I hope you can use this code to basically innovate and actually do it how you want to do it. Like, there's no point in just copying somebody's code unless you're making that game exactly, but I don't recommend making anybody's game exactly. You gotta make it your own. So all my tutorials and all my programs, they'll basically be prototypes where they give you the basic understanding and they give you the basic outline, and then you can add to them and beef them up however you'd like. So if you guys have any, if you guys want me to make any other prototypes, if you have any other questions or concerns, or if I'm doing something wrong or anything, just let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more, hit like and subscribe. Thank you.